God bless you, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Facebook Live tonight. I am so excited to have you here. Happy Monday to you, and I hope that you had a great day. It's been a fantastic day here at Harvestfest Central. We are ready for what God is going to do, and in the next 2 days, man, excitement is building. Anticipation is at an all-time high, and I know that God is going to meet us in a very special way. I hope you had a great day today. We did here, had opportunity to be interviewed with a local TV station, WNEM. Thank you to all of the staff there for your hospitality and your kindness, and to all those who made that possible. I'm excited tonight because we are on the road to Harvest Fest. Last year, I believe it was, a year before, we instituted this new idea. We will interview some of our speakers as we approach the opening night. And so I have a great, great guest tonight. I'm going to give you a minute to get in here. I know it takes a minute for Facebook to get those notices out. And so as you're coming in, let me know that you're watching so I can speak to you and greet you personally. I want to say hello to all of you. I see the numbers are going up, and that's encouraging. All right, so go ahead and share. As you're coming in, share. God bless you, India Baker. Good to see you tonight. Candace Jones, I know you're ready. God bless you. Thank you for all of your help and in getting Harvest Fest rolling the way that it is. I'm excited. Yeah, I must admit that I feel like the night before Christmas. It feels that way, and like we're about to embark on something great. Tony, you know, I know who you are. God bless you. Good to have you here, my dear, dear friend Tony Rose. Love you so much. Go ahead and share the broadcast as you're coming in, and let me know where you're watching from. I'd love to hear what city, state you're watching from, so I can shout your city and state out. If you have not made your plans yet to be at Harvest Fest, you still have time. It begins October 2nd, opening night, Wednesday night with Bishop Dunn, W. Shelby. And so you still have time to get here, especially for the weekend. So make plans, do what you have to do, move things around, get here. Shannon Dixon, good to have you tonight. Sharon Dixon, I'm sorry. Good to have you. Marie, good to have you tonight. Bless you. Thank you for coming in. Louisiana. All right, come on. Uh, Althea, God bless you. Flint, Michigan, good to have you tonight. All right, great. Come on in, folks. And you're really going to enjoy the program tonight as we talk to one of our very special guests. And all of our guests are special to us. All of our guests are dear to us. Each one of them brings something unique to the table, impartation. However, I said extra special tonight because this is my sister. And so I'm not going to apologize for calling her extra special. All right, Dalen, good to have you tonight. Thank you. Please go ahead and share with your followers, with those who are on your social media platform. Let's get these numbers up some more. Y'all doing real good. Well, let me just talk about the lineup this year, and then I'll bring my guests in just a moment. I'll give you more time to go ahead and share. So, as I mentioned earlier, opening night, Mr. Don W. Shelby Jr. of Westland, Michigan, will be with us. I wish I had that clip to show you guys, but somewhere on my page here, there's a trailer. Watch the trailer. It will really, really bless you. Uh, and then on Thursday morning glory, I am so ready to get in the presence of God and pray. Prayer is my passion. It's my happy place. And so Thursday and Friday morning at 8 o'clock a.m. will be in morning glory. You don't want to miss that. All right. And then Thursday afternoon at 1 o'clock p.m., Pastor Winston Lott of Kansas City, Missouri will be with us as our main speaker. 1 o'clock Thursday. And then Thursday night, our very special guest will be Apostle Joshua Giles, the founder of the Mantle Conference out of Minneapolis, Minnesota. But that conference was held in Atlanta. I hear great things about that conference. Everybody's talking about it, and positive reviews are coming back from how God moved and blessed the people there. So he'll be here in Saginaw with us at Harvest. You don't want to miss that. And then again, Friday morning for Morning Glory. And then Friday afternoon, Apostle Joshua Smith out of Gulfport, Mississippi. One of our sons in the gospel, who is a powerful man of God, will be with us Friday afternoon at 1 o'clock p.m. And then Friday night, you don't want to miss the mother, amen, the general, Apostle Pam Vanette out of Tulsa, Oklahoma, will be with us and sharing a unique form of prophetic ministry. If you've never been in one of her services, you don't want to miss Friday night. She is going to really minister to you in a very special way. I know you can be blessed. And then on Saturday at 10 a.m., the brunch with the bishop. Yours truly. I am looking forward to having you with me on Saturday morning. I want to share some things with you. I'll be doing a special Q&A session with those who are in attendance. The tickets are only $40. You can go to our website and reserve your spot. Today we have some spots left for you. All right. And then on Saturday afternoon at 1 o'clock p.m., one of the apex of our meeting, our dear sister will be doing a leadership masterclass. When I tell you, you need to get in this session. I received calls today, and I'm so grateful to the pastors who are coming in and bringing their leaders. I received a call today. They said, we haven't registered yet, but we're registering right now. I said, well, go ahead and get that registration in. $59 for registration. Trust me, that is a fraction of what you're going to receive. That costs, you're going to feel like you robbed us, for real. And so I want you to go ahead and register today. Go to our website, register for the master class with Cindy Flowers, the one and only. And she'll be with us in just a moment. Go to www.harvestfest. Well, I'm still old school. I do www. Simply go to harvest-fest.org. I'm old school. www. And so I'll probably be saying that for a long time because I probably will. All right. And then Sunday morning, we'll close it all out with an apostolic commission. Listen, we started a series on last Sunday about the embassies of Christ, and you need to be here on Sunday morning to close out with us at 9:45 a.m. Indiana is coming in. Illinois is already registered to be here. Kansas City registers to be here. Texas will be in the house. I'm going to forget somebody. Y'all got to help me. North Carolina will be in the house. Pennsylvania will be in the house. New York will be in the house. Mississippi will be in the house. I got you. Oklahoma will be in the house. Ohio will be in the house. Of course, Michigan will be in the house. That's 10 states. All right. Well, if I forgot your state, just holler at me. It's, I know there's going to be a lot of y'all here. So we're excited about all those that are coming in from across the nation. And listen, when I tell you Saginaw's ready for you, we're preparing. Our people have been busy. We have Virginia. Thank you. Virginia will be in the house. Georgia. Thank you. I know it's forgetting somebody. So we are excited about all of you who are coming to be a part of Harvestfest 2024. Well, without further ado, I am excited to introduce to you and present to you one of our speakers who is facilitating our workshop on Saturday afternoon, a master class. Let me just say a little bit about Cindy before I bring her on. I've known her just about all my life. We've met in our teens. We've been brothers and sisters for over 40 years. And I'm so appreciative for the life and the living legacy of Cindy Flowers, because, and we'll get into some of that later. I don't want to get ahead of myself, but I watched her grow. I watched her mature and perfect her craft and become what I consider one of the leading voices in leadership in Christendom. Not because of I'm sorry for that interruption. Not because of any particular nepotism, but mostly because of work ethic. She didn't get a silver spoon. She didn't get anything handed to her on a card. She worked very hard and consistently and faithfully to emerge to the place where God has ordained for her to be. And when I tell you a businesswoman with a business mind, a kingdom entrepreneur, a philanthropist, she's a humanitarian. It's just to know someone from their youth and then to see what they become is always an exciting part of our relationship. And so I'm happy to have her here tonight. We'll talk more about some of her background. She's modest. Trust me, all this I'm doing right now, she's not trying to have all that. But she deserves every accolade that I'm giving her, because to watch her faithfully stand beside her leader and never usurp the authority and just remain a humble servant with incredible power. And I'm just excited tonight to have her with me. So would you please help me welcome to the program tonight, my dear sister, Flowers. Up.
I'm sorry. Am I on yet?
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Oh, I've been just sitting here reading my book. I didn't know it was time for me to get on.
Oh, you know what? I tell you what.
Have you guys heard of this book? It is so good. Oh my God. It is unveiling the path to abundant living by this guy. I mean, the book is amazing. I don't know if you heard of him, Bishop Alvernis Johnson. Oh my! I've just been like all day, like in this book, like this, like all day long.
I wasn't ready. I'm never ready. Like no matter how much I try to prepare, I'm always.
Oh my God, this book is so good. If you guys don't have this book, Unraveling the 6 Reasons Most Christians Don't Benefit from Tithing. It's so good. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Bishop. I was just sitting here reading. I'm sorry. I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready. I was just sitting here reading my book.
Well, thank you for that plug. I really appreciate it. Appreciate it. As I was saying earlier, before I brought you on, I am incredibly and always increasingly proud of the woman of God that you are and how you serve the body of Christ. And so, growing up in church, you and I both grew up in church. That's our background. That's who we are. But to see God use you to emerge to the forefront of his kingdom, doing kingdom work on a daily basis, for me, it's just phenomenal, And we didn't know when we were teenagers and kids where we would be. We knew we loved God. We knew we'd be in the church, but we didn't know how God would position us. And to see where we are today and to watch you from afar and up close, administrate the kingdom and advance the agenda of God in the earth. I'm just proud. I'm proud to call you my sister. I'm proud to say I'm your brother. And it may seem overkill for somebody, but they don't know. They don't know. I'm really, everything I say comes from a very sincere place. To watch this and to be a part of it is just amazing. So welcome tonight again, and
Thank
welcome to
you.
Harvestfest 2024 for the second time.
I can't believe I got invited back again. I'm like, what? A
Oh,
second invitation?
let me tell you, it's always been our desire to get you for many years. In the first year, you weren't able to make it because you had to be out of the country, but you gave us such an awesome replacement. I mean, that young, I think it was Lawrence Robinson,
Robinson.
right, out of Dallas, Texas. Just amazing job he did.
I thought he was gonna take my spot.
You know what? I love him. I mean, he did. I have to say, I see a stand-up guy, but there was no way. Now he can come with you, but he would never. We love having him back. He's a great guy.
Amen.
But last year was so phenomenal. That we had that inspiration, or you had, I should say, the inspiration to set it up the way you set it up, like a talk show kind of. It was. I mean, the people were talking about that really, literally for weeks and weeks and weeks.
Wow.
Life changing. And so to have you back a second year, we are thrilled.
I'm honored to come back a second year. I'm honored that you have invited me and trust me to come and share with your people. And just listen to you where he's talking about our younger years. I don't think neither one of us saw this day. I don't know. You may have seen yourself because you've always been an old soul. So you probably saw yourself doing exactly what you're doing now. You've been preaching and pastoring. You was pastoring us when we didn't want you to pastor us.
Right.
So
Right.
You may be doing exactly what you thought you would be doing, but of course, I didn't see this day coming. Working full time in ministry and literally serving. And at this point, it's what I love. It's second nature. It's just like breathing, working and serving in the kingdom, and working to build the kingdom. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, that's what we are. We're servants, and and that's what we do. That's what I do, and I love to do what I do.
Well, I appreciate it. I want to jump ahead of myself, but since you brought that up, I was watching a video of your birthday celebration.
Yes.
Not the one we had here, but the one I don't know if it was that in LA.
No, that was in Detroit. There's a Beverly Hills, Michigan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Beverly Hills, Michigan.
So I watched that, and I saw Pastor having words, right, and he was talking about, and I remember them days. He was talking about when you came in office, like, I don't want to be answering phones for the rest of my life. Da, 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 da. And he was like, well, if that's what you think you'll see us. Da, da, da. And
Yeah,
then
he got mad.
and then you came in and you was in prayer. He came in your office. You were caught up. And he said he closed the door and let you have your moment. And later on asked what was going on. And you said the Lord had given you the burden for the
Yeah.
men. Baby, when I tell you that, when I watched that video, I quickened. And I said to God, and this is no slight, because I have great people here.
Mm-hmm.
And no slight, but I said, God, give me my Cindy. And
Mm.
again, I'm not slighting anybody because I have
Mm-hmm.
great
Sure.
staff. But to have people who understand the burden of the ministry and to carry it. And I remember those days of you and I
Mm-hmm.
having conversations about your career in school, and because
Mm-hmm.
you had a whole nother plan.
I did.
You
I
had
did. A whole nother plan. And it wasn't, I thought, my thought was when Pastor first asked me to come and work at the church, it was like, okay, I'll do this for a minute, till we, get over into our building, and then, he'll have somebody else come. And actually during that time, when I first started working for the church, it was a little friction, because my mindset was something else, and that really was not my plan. You know what I'm saying? That's not the vision that I have for my life. And
right,
that's why I said to him, I was like, I ain't trying to answer your phone for the rest of my life, because at that time that's all that I saw, because I had plans on doing something else. And because of that, the friction was real, you know what I'm saying? Because I would say left, or pastor would say left, and I would say, well, why not right? He say up, and I'm like, well, why not down? And so it was interesting, and I was literally saying to myself, I was like, I don't know if this is gonna work out working at the church, working for my pastor, because I wanted to keep that respect and that honor there.
sure,
And it was, and we were, again, we were on two different wavelengths. But it all changed, that moment when literally, and the only way I can describe it is literally, it's like I felt the weight, of the ministry on me. It's like I couldn't even get up off of my knees. I was in a kneeled position in prayer, and the Lord literally gave me the burden of the ministry. And after that, it was amazing. It's almost like, blinders taken off your eyes,
hmm,
and I could just see so clearly, and I could understand uh, what it was like. I almost could feel what he was feeling, or what he had to, embark upon and take upon, and that just changed the whole trajectory of my life and my servanthood at perfecting at that time.
yeah.
And
And
since then.
that's why I really want to encourage pastors to register their leaders. This session is for leaders only. We really want to deal with just leaders. All of our leaders are going to be a part of that. It's a requirement because we want them to understand what it means, because you're not just teaching, you're also imparting.
Mm,
Um, and so that impartation is important, because a lot of times people can just hear information, but
hmm
but when it's imparted to you, then you can actually experience it. And so every pastor wants somebody who understands the burden that they walk under, and they take the burden on as if though it's their own, because you didn't just feel his burden and say, I'm praying for you. You got
right.
that yoke.
Yeah, absolutely. And even when you talk about leaders of bishop too, um, because what I've also learned over the years is everybody leads in one respect or another.
Mhm.
Even if you're the leader, of course, of your household, a lot of that filters over into what we do in our local church. So of course, it's very important that leaders come. Like if you're a leader of a ministry or a certain area, but you have a lot of leaders within, even you being on a ministry or on a department. Sometimes we have different tiers of leadership,
Right.
and everybody leads in one way or another. It's just the type of leadership that you're displaying that's important. So when we talk about leaders being there, um, it's important that if you serve in ministry that you're there, because, and I don't want to get too far into my lesson, but we all lead, you know what I'm saying? But it's just, it's kind of what you are putting out as you're leading. That's what's making the difference in what's happening in our churches and what's not happening in our churches. Is
Right.
what
But,
we're giving out as leaders. Yeah.
yeah, well, I agree with that. Some years ago, I can't remember which year it was, but one year I took a whole segment of that year and talked about that very subject about everybody leading in some capacity,
Mm-hmm.
from leading your home to, because someone's watching you. You're setting an example and a pattern and a pace for somebody. And
Yep.
so
Yep.
just because you're not the what you might consider top tier leader or the central leader or the main leader does not mean that you don't have the responsibility for leadership. When you think
That's
about
right.
Moses bringing all those people out of Egypt into Canaan, there's no way one man could have done that.
Mm-mm.
Which is why his father-in-law said, "Hey, you need to get some more people to help you with this." And
Yeah.
so I think it's important. So I encourage those of you who serve in ministry, those of you who are part ministry, make sure that you get registered. $59 for a master class to sit at the feet of somebody who's been doing this for almost 35 years, right?
It has been, this year actually marked 36. I was like, where has the time gone? And it doesn't seem like it, you know what I'm saying? It really doesn't. I'm still excited, you know what I'm saying? I still, even though work, work may be intense, and it's, of course, it's a lot different. And I complained about answering them phones 35 years ago. I'm like, give me them telephones. Just let me answer the phone.
Right. Right.
Please give me that job back again. It's a whole lot different than what I'm dealing with now. But yeah, it has been, this year marks 36 years of working in at the church and in ministry.
Amazing. And and the truth of the matter is, it's a sad reality, yet a reality that we have to face. Many churches don't have that kind of success record or that kind of track record. Um, Today more than ever, churches are opening and then closing. Now, back in the day when we grew up, they never retired, they never closed. It could
Mm,
be one person and they kept it open. Today it's a different mindset. So a lot of churches are functioning like businesses. First 5 years they're not making it, they're shutting their doors. They're
yeah.
walking 1,700 pastors per month at one time were walking out of the pulpits.
Wow.
And so to have that kind of tenure and dedication, one of the things I love in ministry is longevity. Like I like working with people for 36 years.
Yeah.
I love, I know you have sometimes that revolving door in and out, people come, but to have some stable leadership, we've been blessed here at Kingdom Life for the 25 years we've been in existence to have um, the only most all of our original members are still here. The eight that started, the only ones that are not here are ones that have that are deceased, and so
Mm,
which is a blessing to have those. And now some of their grandchildren go here. That right,
wow. And that's something.
that be messing with me.
Yeah, yeah. Even today it was funny. I was looking at the Facebook post. They put a post up today of our kids of the kingdom singing yesterday in church. And it got, it kind of got a lot of reaction because the little kids were singing. They did the chant from Lisa Page Brooks that's
Oh
gotten real popular. But
yeah,
the person that is leading, that's over the choir, she used to be in the children's church as one of the kids of the kingdom. And now she's directing the kids. It's like amazing to see that. But, the reason why a lot of those churches, those statistics that you gave, like when the pastor just, finally walked away, or closed the doors because of the lack of success, it's because you didn't have people who were there dedicated to the ministry saying, hold on, pastor, we can do this.
yeah.
When you feel that you have no other resort but to lock the door and walk away, it's because we as leaders are not in place telling that pastor, yes, you can, holding up their arms, and making them to because if they had that, I just believe a lot of them wouldn't walk away.
But I'm glad you brought that up because a lot of people in church don't realize that a pastor or a senior leader needs encouragement.
Mm-hmm.
They make the assumption that because they're there every Sunday, every Tuesday, or whatever the schedule is, that they're okay. And they don't realize that there are days that the vision seems like it's prolonged,
Mm,
like it's not coming to pass. And it wears on you on the mentally, emotionally, and sometimes physically. And so to have
absolutely.
a team around you, talk about how important it is to have the right team. I don't want to get into whatever your teaching is, but this is
No.
how important it is to have the right team around you.
Oh, it's critical to have a team and the right team, because again, a pastor cannot do it on his own. And at the end of the day, while they have supernatural, strength, from on high, but you still need that encouragement. A pastor at the end of the day, really, if they had the right team around them, they would not be bogged down with the day-to-day operations and things. Really, they should really be dedicated to ministry, to preaching the word for souls to be saved, coming into the kingdom. And then it's kind of like, once that happens, then we should have it from there. You know what I'm saying? Their job is to preach the gospel, to bring the souls in, for to lead their people, spiritual growth and development as the shepherd. But the day-to-day grind, it's not, that's not on the pastor. That's on the lay people. That's on their teams, on his or her team, so that they don't have, I mean, they got to preach, they got to get a word from God, and then they still got to come in, they got to figure out the business, they still got to pay the bills, and try to figure out how this is going to happen, this department people not showing up, they got to motivate, inspire. That's too much. The pastor should not have to do all of that, and that's why we got to get in place and understand, what our real job is and what our real responsibility is. And that is to build the ministry. That is to be selfless when it comes to, if you're committed to a church and you say, I love my church and I'm dedicated to my church, and you're not doing anything in your church, no, you really don't love your church that much. No member, unless they are literally totally incapable of doing something, should not be lending their strength and their expertise and their energy at whatever level to their church. It's no excuse.
So true. Well, I want them to take a clip from that last segment right there, and I want them to make a bunch of reels out there and just play it over and over and over again.
Yeah, it's
Play
no excuse.
it is so true. Well, talk a little bit about what people can expect on Saturday when they come out on the 5th.
Let's see, what can we expect on Saturday? We can expect that we're gonna really get down to business, and we're gonna give some principles, as to what your true responsibility, as leaders and as servant leaders are. What does that really mean? We're going to, of course, apply biblical principles to it, but we're also going to apply some just common sense stuff, and we're going to take questions. I understand that a lot of times in church, people, they don't talk out loud. They feel
Mhm.
like to have a question is to be anti-leadership.
Right.
So we're going to talk about, you know, questions, and it's okay to have questions, but when to ask those questions, when to hold your question, when your question really ain't a question, but it's really a dig, you know,
Yeah.
we're gonna talk about that. But we're gonna talk about how to get along with people, because a lot of times people don't serve in ministries or in church and within their churches because there's friction.
Right.
And so it's easier for them to I just come in and I just leave out so that I don't have friction with people. And so we're going to talk about friction and how to resolve friction. It's nothing wrong with confrontation. I used to be a person that, of course, like, as you heard in that video with Pastor, I didn't even like to talk to people. So confrontation, you can absolutely forget it. So my thing was close the door and let it all work itself out, which it never does. And so we're going to talk about, conflict resolution, because all of that is important, because at the end of the day, it is our job to make sure that that ministry is everything that it can potentially be according to the vision that God gave that leader at day one.
Amen. Well, a lot of times people look at success stories or people who are in their purpose, living their dreams, fulfilling their God-given purpose, and they make the assumption that person has always had that level of confidence, that level of assurance, even that level of expertise. So I think it's important to talk a little bit about, your journey to where you are, because people, when they draw from you, they do it
Mhm.
because they see the results, but a lot of times they don't understand the process.
Yeah, yeah. The process is how much time do you have here? No, I'm just playing.
Right.
But the process, man, again, my natural personality, I would say my natural personality, I probably, I would be described probably as a natural introvert. But again, because of what I needed to do to support my church and my pastor, I had to come out of my comfort zone
Good.
and
Yeah.
learn to become comfortable with, just talking to people, just carrying on a conversation. Um, I love the Lord, so that hasn't been an issue as far as, me love, trying to decide whether or not I wanted to be saved or not. But that whole piece as far as just dealing with people. But I think too, God has to take you through a lot, some true tests, so that because again, sometimes your pullback can be your lack of confidence, right? And at the end of the day, that means too, a lot of your faith in God is not where it should be either,
Absolutely.
because a lot of times I was relying on myself, like, I can't do this, I can't. And God had to show me that that was a lot of pride, because I was trusting in myself and not trusting in Him. And so the journey is, a lot more time in prayer, a lot more telling God of of the things that you are not capable of, and asking Him to help you make up those shortfalls. And literally in prayer, I mean, God can download so many ideas. He can download things that teach you things that even in my professional side, like, I'm working with our lawyers or our accountants on something. They're like, how you know that? And I'm like, I mean, literally I have to give credit. I'm like, God taught me, you know what I'm saying? And
Wow.
so then just the whole different side of dealing with wonderful people, you know what I'm saying? And and again, a lot of that, Bishop, is you know um because we're human. So people, we have not ascended to we have not gone to glory yet. So this right here, this flesh, it rises up, especially when our wonderful people who don't have a lot of you know they just don't have a lot of filter control, so we can say stuff, we can do stuff, to be annoying, to get a reaction. And so my journey has been learning how to control my tongue, um to say, okay, what do I really want to achieve at the end of this conversation? Do
Right.
I want to just tell a person off, or am I really trying to get to a place where we're doing something productive? Because
That's
you can go either way with that.
that's good. Right.
You know
Absolutely.
what I'm saying? And so my journey has been very, over these 36 years, it's been that, and it's still one. You know what I'm saying? So again, a lot of time our excuses are that they are just that, they are excuses why we don't do, who hurt us, who made us mad, who hurt our feelings, and all of that is just excuses. And at the end of the day, the journey has to be, let pride go, let the hurt go, and get in place and do what you're supposed to be doing.
Excellent. Well, we're getting a lot of great comments from those who are watching. One, I think it was Sharon said she just prayed for something today, and that was the answer. This is a blessing. Answer
Wow.
the question I asked God today was excellent. Well, before we wrap it up, because um I want to ask this question because it kind of goes along with what we were just talking about people.
Hmm.
I remember that one of the slogans for perfecting was ministry means people. And
Yes.
how'd y'all get that? I mean, how'd that come about?
That came about because, okay, so I'll try to give the abbreviated version. In a church, of course, people are always going to come, right? And so a lot of our departments or our ministries were developed out of a need. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
So you keep, as you go along, people keep coming, and they need food, or they need, assistance. And so perfecting care, which is a department, was formed out of that need, right?
Right.
Um, catering, food functions, because people keep coming. You got to have stuff. You got to have, food to feed people and all that. So that department was created out of a need. So ministry, as long as you have ministry, as long as you opening up your doors and people are coming, there are going to be needs. And so you have to, as a church, you have to be willing to meet the needs of the people. It's very, um, unproductive for you to open up your church and invite people to come in, but when they come in, you're not there to meet the needs that they have. If people will say, I will come to church, but I can't get there, then you have to create a transportation department to bring people to church.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So ministry means people means that means you have to always be willing to meet the needs of the people that you could potentially serve as a church.
Well, okay. So that prompts this question, and then looking at about maybe about 5 minutes. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
so when a church began, a church starts a startup church, and they have this list of all these ministries that you and I know couldn't be, because
Mm-hmm.
if you're just starting, you don't have 50 ministries. Like,
Right.
so when people come and you list all these, marriage ministry, single ministry, divorce ministry, da 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 da, and but you don't have the people to facilitate that. So what you're saying is that really people is like a demand and supply. Like when the need arises, then you meet that need.
Right.
If that need never arises, you don't need that ministry. I mean, am I right, or am I overthinking it?
Oh no, you're absolutely right. But a lot of that, of course, deals with the vision that the Lord gives that pastor, right? So when perfecting first started, pastor had a whole vision chart of the different ministries that the Lord showed him, because he said that in the vision that he saw for perfecting, he saw all these different people coming, right? They were coming from all different directions, and the Lord told him, they're coming to you. And so we had 8 members, but he had 30 ministries of what the Lord showed him of needs that people would need to be met at some point in time,
Gotcha.
right?
Right.
And so, of course, when we started off as a church, I think our first was like 13 people. And like we opened up, with 200 people, And so, but as the people would come, that would, that you fill in it, that you could fill that slot in, then you started that particular ministry. But yeah, to your point, I mean, not being funny, why do you have why you got a kids ministry if you don't have no children? You
Right.
can reserve that person. Hold on, you don't
Right.
quite need that right now, or if you put, or the other thing too is, if you see something that someone else is doing at a church and you bring it back to your church just because, oh my God, I saw this ministry over at your church, but then you don't have the person that's qualified to lead it, but you
Absolutely.
just started that ministry just because you saw somebody else doing it, prison ministry, for example, that's a very, no, that's a ministry that, you have to have the right person. Normally, a lot of times it's probably somebody that been in prison and
Yeah.
understand all the inner workings, because if you put a person over prison ministry that have no empathy or no understanding of what could potentially go on, and they going out to the prisons and talking about ministering to a person, and they don't have a clue as to the connection, the prisoners sit up there looking at them like, what are you talking about? Like, you have no idea what I'm going through now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so yeah, you gotta wait. You don't just start a ministry just because.
And boy, do I have stories about that. I mean, that's why I'm laughing so hard, because there are people. Well, anyway, we don't have time. But
Just give
what?
me one. Just give me one. Just give us one. You have to give us names. Just give us one.
Well, this was a particular individual who felt led to minister to people who have addictions, and had no experience with it, but just felt like, God gave me deliverance ministry. I've been called to help addicts, and so they got all the addicts.
Oh God.
They gathered all these addicts together in this little area. It was like a cafe area. So I should have not, I should have not even volunteered this. They get these people together, and then like maybe 15 minutes into the presentation, the people pick up that this person don't even like they don't even know what you're talking about.
Don't have a clue.
So they jump in and they rob him.
Oh my God. He got robbed. Oh my Lord.
He got robbed. Wallet, watch, took all his stuff. Went and got.
Oh my Lord. Now,
But anyway.
somebody up on that game, they would have been able to see that coming a mile away.
Right. People know when you don't know what you're talking about.
Oh my goodness, that is hilarious.
So
that is hilarious. That's a perfect example.
One of a time, I want to invite everybody one more time to make sure you go to the website harvest-fest.org and register tonight. Get your registration in. There will be on-site registration, I believe, until the 3rd. Thursday, the 3rd is when they'll close it. So if you're here tomorrow, if you're here Wednesday, I'm sorry, or Thursday during the day, you'll have an opportunity to register on site. But I invite you to go ahead and get registered now. And I wanted to keep the class at a decent amount. That's my own personal preference. When I have more than 50 people, I can't answer the questions, and it just gets a lot. So I'm not saying we don't have a limit. I'm just saying hurry up and get registered because you need to be in this class. I'm supposed to be on an 8 o'clock interview. It's 7:59.
Well, you need to go, Bishop.
I'm going to go ahead and
I'm looking forward to seeing everyone Saturday in the class. Again, I'm honored to be a part of Harvestfest. I'm honored to be with my brother, my Bishop Alvernis Johnson, and Lady Chantel Johnson. And hey, we're looking forward to a wonderful time.
By the way,
let's make our churches great, guys. Let's make
who loves you great. Incredibly. My wife loves you so much.
That's my girl.
And I'm so happy that she has you and you have her in each other's lives. Y'all do make each other better, and I'm so grateful for that.
Amen. For sure.
So
I love you guys.
Saturday, October the 5th at 1:00 p.m. Cindy will be with us, and I don't say Cindy in no disrespect. She is Sister Cindy Flowers of Perfected Church. She has a lot of titles, but she don't play that stuff. So because she told one of my people, I heard I got that. I didn't know, but then we found out. So Cindy Flowers will be with us October the 5th. Thank you again, Cindy, for being here. Push my number one.
Good night. I love you.
What is that? You see that?
I don't know. You just had a whole starburst. What was that?
I don't know.
Hey, I didn't do that. And I don't have that either. If I clap my hands, maybe mine to do that.
When I do thumbs up, it does it. That's okay. Anyway, I didn't know.
It ain't doing it for me.
Thank you, Cindy. I love you.
Bye. I love you.
Thank you so much for being here tonight, everyone. I'm so excited to have my sister with us on October the 5th. I want you to make sure you go to register. Register at harvest-fest.org. Before you go, I want you to watch this trailer of all the speakers that are going to be here October the 2nd through the 6th, the most anticipated event of the year, Harvest Fest 2024. I want to see you there.
At the right time, he can take minuses and make them pluses. He can take losses and make them lessons. He can take pitfalls and convert them into pulpits, because the whole intent of God is putting you in the right place at the right time. Shout yeah, shout yeah, shout yeah.
God, I'm asking you, give me a portion that'll take me out. Give me a portion, I don't know what time it is, what I'm wearing, who's around me. Give me a portion. Say yes.
But whatever the test is, that's simply an indicator, am I helping you today, of what you're called to do. And for some of you people, you're supposed to be teaching and coaching and providing business counsel and providing instruction, but instead you're using your tongue to
We dare not try to release a sound that did not come from our prayer chamber and our prayer room. And this next anointing came from the warfare that I had to endure, the battle that you had to go through. Oh, but you made it through, and you came out with something greater than what you had before.
Sometimes we're comfortable with our dysfunction, but David said he leads me beside the still waters. He leads me beside the calm waters. Somebody in here, you're leaving this place and your house is about to be calm. Your job is about to be calm. Your cubicle is about to be calm. Everybody on your floor is going to be calm. Why? Because healing is not an outside job, it's an inside job. And when God does it in you, it flows out of you to everybody around you. Clap your hands and give God praise.
But look to heaven. The reason why we got the choices that we have is because we made a decision to look to men instead of to God. Ask God to raise a champion. Say it with me. God, raise us up.